Kodama of the East Tree in Legacy. Yeah, you know what? Why not? What do we have to lose? Play points? Bah. Hello folks, Phil Gallagher aka ThrabenU here for another Legacy video, and today's donation decklist idea comes to us from Discord regular Philip, who is always part of the daily greetings and keeping things cozy on the Discord. And I was asked to brew around Kodama of the East Tree. Whenever another permanent you control enters, if it wasn't put onto the battlefield with this ability, you may put a permanent card with equal or lesser mana value from your hand onto the battlefield. Now, in a slow game of Commander, this is an absolute beast, even if you are just treating it fairly, because this just works with things like lands. So you put a land into play, and then you make a second land drop because of it. And that's kind of the absolute floor of what this can do. We are going to attempt to go infinite with this today. So the game plan is to have one of these Springheart Nantukos in play. And then whenever we play a land, we are going to get a 1/1 insect, or potentially a copy of whatever this is bestowed onto. And this is going to go infinite with Guildless commons. So this is going to enter play, and then we are going to return a land we control to our owner's hand. We're going to choose Guildless Commons. So we play Guildless Commons, bouncing Guildless Commons back to hand, but in process, we are going to make a 1/1 green insect token. This was not put into play via this ability, allowing us to put Guildless Commons back into play, and this can then give us infinite creatures. The overall shell that is here is essentially the Cradle Control shell, and we are going to have 3 options as finishers for our natural order. We will use Kodama if we already have access to Guildless Commons, and we do have ways to tutor for lands in this deck, so that is maybe viable. I don't know how many times it is going to come up, but like it is absolutely a line that is valid. And we can also green sun for Kodama as well. Way number 2 is just pooping an Atraxa into play and hoping that the giant life-linking body can get the job done. And way number 3 is our Craterhoof. The sideboard is perhaps not anything too exciting. We have our obligatory Oops All Spells is still legal in Legacy, 4 of Leyline of the Void, and then we have a handful of mostly anti-combo things in the sideboard. We're hoping that we already have decent game versus fair stuff. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into things. Folks, if you need any Magic cards, please consider getting them from my sponsor, TOAMagic.com. I like those folks a lot. Promo code ThrabenU will save you a little bit on your order. I'm planning on giving them a whole bunch of stuff in MagicCon Vegas when I go. And if you're there in person, look for this purple banner. There's usually great deals underneath it. All right, let's battle. All right, I'd say this hand isn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but multiple Badgermole Cubs is probably overall going to be fine. I don't think I'm worried about it. Another Wasteland is okay. Hierarch is a great pickup. Very happy with that. We will floop that down. Call it a turn. We are potentially looking towards an early Atrax. What the fuck? What? What are we doing here? I don't know how upset to be yet. Huh. Alright, opponent is wilding. I don't know what's going on over there. Alright. My turn got a lot worse. And I'll only get to play 1 Badgermole Cub instead of 2. I don't know. What is Twisted Image gunning for? Like, I'm not Tameo, I guess, is the plan? So I can play Badgermole Cub, then have 2 mana to bestow onto Wasteland, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I think I'm into that. So there's Badgermole Cub. We'll Earthbend onto a more other Wasteland, then make a mana, which really becomes 2 mana, then bestow onto one of these Wastelands. And then next turn, hopefully, is really cool. I'm okay with this just hitting me once. I am hoping that the game is effectively over next turn. So I'll take this hit. Take 3. Oh, I see. This explains Twisted Image. We are just trying to play a billion different things with different names for Tainted Pact value purposes. Alright, I understand the dirtle now. This means there could be all sorts of wild shit in this deck. Game 1 Damnation, Game 1 Toxic Deluge. What is this? For a target creature, if it has the least power or is tied for the least power among creatures on the battlefield. Okay. Obviously don't have any mana. I don't remember quite how this works in terms of what is copied. I think it just goes infinite, if memory serves. I think the haste is maintained. I will Earthbend, play Dryad Arbor, do this. Okay, it does not keep the creature stuff. I will do this again, and this time I can't pay. Oh, right, it's if you do it on Dryad Arbor. That's where it actually goes infinite. I'll just go ahead and Wasteland you, and in for a healthy 3, and then next turn I can kill any number of different ways. I will just chump block with an insect token now. I don't need my opponent to hit again. Opponent fetches. Oh boy, it's been a hot minute. Face down and face up pile. And they get 1. They have 1 mana available. They could have a second. Brazen Borrower is maybe the best card. Maybe let's split something like that. Okay, so they have the Orcish Bowmasters and the mana. Okay, got it. I could have done this better by Wastelanding in draw step. I don't think that matters. Yeah. Okay, we're just done here. There's a hoof. The opponent had Spell Pierce. They could have Spell Pierced that and made it so that I attack with 1 fewer thing, but I don't think that matters, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everything gets +6/+6. Yeah, very clearly dead. GG's. No changes. Direct send main deck right back. Could play Decay, could play Thoughtseize, I suppose. I don't know that either is super relevant. And has Natural Order. Eep. Alright, Delta fetches. Haha. What a punish for not being able to play multiple copies of Thoughtseize. My opponent can't take the Natural Order, which is very good right now. And we just drew another Badgermole Cub. Hell yeah. There's a bird. And like they have 1 Force of Will and 1 Force of Negation. Orion revealed, fixes mana. It's Twisted Image again. Alright. Let's fetch. I decide which one of these I'm playing. Just Badgermole Cub. Earthbend a Bayou. Miracle? So what is this? The Reanimator Miracle? The 2 mana 4/4 lifelink, whose name I am blanking on right now. Alright. Well, we are seeing the same singletons again, which is honestly a little weird. I think I can go ahead and attack into this. 4/4? Yeah, sure. Stern Scolding. Alright. We have to play around everything known to mankind. Like, was I supposed to, or 3 speed fetch to play around Opposition Agent? Let's find out. Alright, dodged. So this one or this one? I think I'm just into Dryad Arbor. It taps for 2 mana as of right now, and we'll probably bait out a removal spell and make Fiend Artisan better. I can also just sack Badgermole Cub and jam Natural Order. I don't know that I need to do that immediately. I don't mind Bog here. Get in for 2. Throw down a large-ish Fiend Artisan. And prevent Murktide Regent from coming to play. Aww. I have all sorts of cute things that I can do. I can also just kill my opponent. That is something that I am allowed to do. 7. On we go. Consider. Goodbye, Tameo. Fetch. Do Mortuary here. Okay. Yeah. 1 and 2. Okay, that is just good enough. We have run over our opponent. GG. But Magic Turtle number 1, let me just salute you here. You're out there fighting the good fight, trying to do something spicy, and I respect it. Good luck in your brewing. GG's. Today's video is sponsored by Moxfield.com. If you're looking to store your decks online, you're not going to find a better website. It's super organized and easy to use, and I sort everything that I do into a ton of format-specific folders, and you can customize the way that you use Moxfield to your liking. Whether you like text views or visual views of multiple different natures, Moxfield has it all. And it's so easy to use, you might even say that it's a snap. Okay, let's try to find another land for this opening hand. Success. Guess I'll do this in a way that doesn't lose me a life. Throw out a Hierarch. Pass turn. We are on track for a turn 3 natural order, playing 2 mana dorks next turn, and getting an exalted attack in as well. What sort of crimes are you up to? Is that Fury? Opponent said no to Fury versus known creature deck. So that's a thing. A Pyrogoyf. Alright, well, I guess it's one smaller, temporarily, because I did not play a fetch land out, but, you know, it's gonna get bigger. Let's get another basic land here. You know what? I don't feel like I want another basic land. And we'll play out 2 mana dorks. This is a deck that sticking an Atraxa early on is just very, very likely to beat. Broadside is cool. Let's see what my opponent does here. Obviously no blocks. Let's see if they want to throw a creature or a Chrome Mox or something. Oh, fuck me. That was always a fear with my opponent putting 1 under Chrome Mox. So that gets to kill both of my creatures while doming me for 7. That ain't great. So Pyrogoyf being thrown puts me effectively at 1. So if I fetch, I'm dead. Like, I can play Springheart, make 2 friends. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting out of this. That is a shame. This was a very strong hand. We got absolutely run over. GG. Alright, I will play a couple copies of Snuff Out to slow down my opponent's creatures. I don't know that I'm into Abrupt Decay. It's okay. I'm gonna think about it. Endurance can probably go here. Ice Till Explorer is a little slow for this matchup. That's my 2 Snuff Outs. Everything else that is in the deck looks like a reasonable Magic the Gathering card for this matchup. Maybe go down 1 of those. I don't know that I'll notice the difference between 3 and 4 of them. Okay, I've got a reasonable looking opening hand that needs to find a second land off of Once Upon a Time. That's tricky. I'll take the Cradle for its upside. It just becomes very awkward if Bird dies. I'm also grabbing a Bayou here because of Snuff Out in particular. We've got some fast mana. Will I get punished by a Blood Moon for playing to my Snuff Out? I will not. So if I go Gaia's Cradle, Badgermole Cub, White of the Reliquary, that's a pretty strong turn. Alright. Earthbend our Gaia's Cradle. Then I tap this for black, which also gives me the green from Badgermole Cub for the White of the Reliquary. And I am probably going to end up snuffing out this creature, but I think I can let my opponent make a few decisions before that happens. They could play out something that is scarier first. Okay, looting through more mana. Alright, that is something that is scarier than the Goblin Shaman token. We will be killing the Broadside. Well worth 4 life here. Alright, opponent is attacking. I don't really know that I need my Badgermole Cub. I'll take it. I'm on the fence about that decision. Like, how much mana I need really depends on whether or not I have a live rip, and whether or not I'm interested in leaving open Talon Gates as protection for one of my creatures. I'm afraid that my opponent has Fury. Yeah. In which case I am not a happy camper. How are we doing this? Alright. Yeah. So I get my Gaia's Cradle back, and I'm just kind of sad about everything. At least I didn't also eat 7 damage there. I'll play this, phase out this token, 3 mana for Grist, think I am just plussing with Grist, trying to build a board back up, and let's do this chip damage. 14. I'm scared if my opponent has another good follow-up, like another Broadside or Pyrogoy for Caves of Chaos Adventure or whatever is kind of rough. Face or Grist? At Grist. We're just going to have Grist take that. Again, I want to be able to do something like a large Green Sun by having a large number of creatures. Although I guess Double Cradle already helps with that. The One Ring. Thanks, I hate it. Okay, sure. Don't love that. I think we're doing this and stopping Reflection of Kiki-Jiki from copying something else that comes down. I think I will get rid of the creature that I just played because it can't attack. Oh, no, that doesn't make sense. Protection. I will probably just get buried by the One Ring here. Fury plus Broadside 2 games in a row is rough for us. Romux? Printing Spirit Guide. Opponent's got plenty of mana. Sundering Eruption. Yeah, I'll use that ability. We'll get my basic forest. Now, my stuff can't block this turn. My opponent can potentially play another 3-drop post-combat. I don't like the way this is shaping up. Oh, we can do it pre-combat. Broadside as last card for the daggers is another Fable. All right. I will take 2 and my opponent gets a treasure. I need something here. Verdant Catacombs is probably not that something. I will pass here. I suspect that there's a good chance that I die this turn, either literally or effectively. Opponent declined to use that. They could have drawn with the One Ring and then filtered away the bad stuff from the One Ring. I think I am just going to eat this damage to the face and hope Gaea's Cradle does something impressive. I don't need to deal very much damage. Opponent is effectively at 6 life. Log seems good. Now, Ancient Tomb can be used without the life loss. Yeah. That makes my life a lot harder. I think this is now Dryad Arbor, rather than the Surveil land that I wanted to get. That way, I can rip Natural Order and have a green creature. Wasn't meant to be. I'm gonna say at this point, my opponent has clearly got it. Fury is very good against everything that I've got going on here. GG. All right. Opening hand seems reasonable. We could, I suppose, technically hard cast this. It's just quite tough. Maybe we end up copying a bird to make that happen. Ooh, we are playing against lands. In which case, the Tabernacle is some shit. All right, Cradle as a pickup. And more birds. We are fully in please don't Tabernacle me territory. Do the basic as my first land. So the problem here is that Urza Saga is ticking towards Expedition Map, which is access to any land in my opponent's deck. Oh, that's good against Atraxa. All right, so play a bird, play a Gaia's Cradle. There's Badger Mole Cub, Earthbend the Gaia's Cradle. There's 2 mana. What am I bestowing onto? I legitimately think it is bird. So Green Sun, fuck. I was about to say Green Sun for Kodama is on the table, but that's not ideal with that Caracas there. So Hoof probably becomes the ultimate plan. All right, so there's the map. Wasteland can work through Gaia's Cradle eventually. Okay, it is another Urza Saga. They might not have Game 1 Tabernacle then. I think they missed a point of damage, right? This was a 3-3 at some point this turn. I will take that. It feels like my opponent is dead. I'm not going to math it out, but it feels like my opponent is dead. So I fetch, get some land, trigger this again. This is effectively free. It's been a hot minute. It's Crater Hoof 8. Crater Hoof is 8, so I need 9 mana. 8, 9 mana. Yeah. There's the Hoof. Everybody's big. Send in. Okay, cool. GG. I don't have too awful much for this matchup. Ice-Till Explorer might be an okay way to recover from Wasteland. What the F am I doing about Tabernacle? Unsure. Wrist will become a Force of Vigor. Abrupt Decay for one of these. Maybe don't play the Oof. The Oof is pretty narrow in its usage. That's not to say that it does nothing, but the number of games that it flip-flops from a win to a loss is probably pretty small. I don't think his hand does anything. Like, I have lands and spells in an appropriate ratio, but like, what am I doing? Fetching a Dryad Arbor versus lands? I think I'll just mulligan. 5 it is. This one I keep. It is all about resolving a natural order. I think we're doing something that looks like that. Avamaya, pass turn. Sure. Yeah. And yeah. And then next turn I can Dryad Arbor and Birds to try to set up for a fast natural order. Sphere. Hate that. That slows me down. Unless I hit a land, then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I will top that land. I don't have permanents in my hand for trying Kodama nonsense, and I don't have the land tutors in play either. I guess that currently means that I'm looking at Atraxa off of Natural Order, which just got a lot less good. Don't do it. All right. Green and 2. So I can do a green sun for X equals 2. All right. I guess I don't need to fetch. I think this becomes a Badger Mole Cub. And we do that on the Verdant Catacombs so that I have the possibility of fetching that away and getting it back. And now something like a Hoof is maybe on the table. This negates this, and then I would have to tap 2 of these to Hoof. All right. Are we tabernacling? Yeah, we're tabernacling. I have to tap 2 of these to do the thing. That lets me keep everybody. Natural Order currently costs 6 mana, so that's no good. I'm not actually getting damage in this turn. I guess I could have tapped Verdant, or tapped Bird, left open Verdant, and get 1 point of damage in. Alright, got it. I get mazed. Ancient Tomb comes down. Oh, whatever it is big. Is this the land from graveyard thing? Yes. So I will go 1, 2, 3, 4. Put this into play. Phase out a creature. If I hit a land, I natural order. It is a once upon a time. Tragic. So Gaia's Cradle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I'll still take it. I'm just short again. That's okay, I get it next turn. In for 3 because of Exalted. 15. Boo. Alright. There's Loam. This is not great. Okay, there's no bonus land drops, so I'm in the same spot as last turn, where as long as I hit the land drop, I get to do the thing. Well, I hit a land drop. That takes out this. 5 of 6 mana again. Get in there. I get 1 point of chip damage. Urza's Saga comes down rather than Wasteland. It may not be apparent to my opponent that I actually am pinched on mana despite having this much mana. Okay, that'll do. Yeah, don't need to fetch. So 2, 4. The Hoof is not lethal. I go 2, 4, 5, 6. I attack with 2 creatures. They will have +4, +4. Okay, so we're doing something else. The Verdant Catacombs is not green, so I guess I will sacrifice the bird. So then this becomes Ice-Till Explorer. Rebuy Cradle? I don't know if that's better than just grabbing Atraxa. Cradle. Mana Dork. Sorcery. Enchantment. Could pick like something like Springheart or white instead. Maybe white. I think I messed up by playing a land. I can send in with Badger Cub. It's not actually going to do anything. And now I think the natural order will just be lethal on my turn without actually doing the math on it. I also can, like, bestow onto an Atraxa, and that seems pretty gross too. Aww. So this now happens. I will just let the Atraxa go. It's going to get bounced anyway. Pay for all of my stuff. This is all spells. So if I Gaia's Cradle, natural order, is this just lethal? So 3, 4, 5. I would have to tap one of these. So I would send in with 3 creatures. And my opponent will have a maze and a blocker. Let's just bestow onto this for 4 mana then. Set up for lethal next turn. So then Cradle. Green for each creature. Earthbend the Cradle so that it comes back if I need it to. How much do you tap for? I can go ahead and do this for X equals 1. Got a Hierarch or something. Attacks as a 5/5. Does just get mazed, but that's fine. In we go. No damage because of maze. Instant on tap. Alright, no Urza Saga tokens made. Now my opponent makes one. There's a Mox Diamond. Wasteland. Taking out the Cradle. It'll come right back. That will give me an Insect Friend. I don't have the mana for right now to make another Badger Mole Cub. That's my opponent's 1 land drop. There's Mox Diamond. Okay, yeah, and this seems like Hoof is just easy. I'll pay for all of these with Cradle. So I have the Kodama Infinite here. My natural order for Kodama, play Guildless Commons, and I can make infinite creatures. Like, combo is assembled. It is just better to kill my opponent, though. Like, the metaphorical shields are down right now. Hold on. Okay, I do have to tap one of these. Sacrifice an insect token. There's the hoof. Everybody's big. Yep. As it turns out, the kill this turn was better than the kill next turn. But that is proof of concept. The deck can assemble that combo. Opponent's Tabernacle just made me do a lot of dancing. And I don't want to make infinite creatures and then, 300 Tabernacle triggers go on the stack in the upkeep. GG's. All right. Opening hand, no green mana. I mean, okay. This is probably too slow for what very well might be show and tell. I think I'm going to keep it and hope that Once Upon a Time drastically improves the hand. But it's possible I should just go to 5 here. Opponent is going to 5. All right. Let's find a mana dork. The temptation. I just need the mana dork, though. Let's throw down Hierarch and call that good. I really still need to spike something to play next turn as well. I mean, yeah. Fetch. Do another Bayou so that I can attempt to swing in for 1 here. Opponent brainstorms. I suppose we might end up doing something interesting with these 2 cards in conjunction. Where I, like, play land from the graveyard and then put another permanent into play with Kodama from my hand. In we go for a mighty 1 point of damage. 19. It is show and tell time, unfortunately. Oh, it's stock up time. Hell yeah. I need to just take a look at what utility lands I have here. Wasteland is the big one, it looks like. I'll fetch. Do Ice Till Explorer. Oh. It is show and tell, and I think my opponent has another one. I will go in for 4. Opponent to 14. I'll pass. And I have some things here that help a bit. I can, for example, just turn Ignoble Hierarch into Wasteland. Alright, maybe not. I think I will activate this to put another thing into my graveyard. Probably just pick up a Dryad Arbor here. Have the ability to activate it again. Gaia's Cradle. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is Kodama of the East Tree in play. So yeah, I think I will go ahead and sack Dryad Arbor. Do this. Bounce Guildless commons. Put a Dryad Arbor back into play. And now I have the ability to phase out something like an Emrakul that hits play and still attack for lethal. Opponent says no to stock up. This is enough mana for a show and tell. And I suspect that my opponent has one. That's not 3 mana, that's 2 mana. Alright, opponent passes. I'll put a bird into play. I don't need to put this into play right now. Send it. Petty Theft on Kodama is fine. I think I'm just sacrificing that. No, I'll sacrifice the bird. And I can Talon Gate my Kodama out. Do Guildless commons and return a Talon Gates to my hand. Get my opponent for 7, so Scalding Tarn can't fetch. And have Talon Gates available as Fog. Hey, there's a fair Kodama doing some stuff. GG's. 4 Thoughtseize seems like a no-brainer here. And then these are things that I can maybe be thinking about. Endurance can maybe go. Wrist is a little niche, but I'll probably keep it. Despite the fact that my opponent countered this, I can probably get rid of this here. Probably just get rid of Bojuka Bog for this matchup. Don't know that I want to cut any more mana than that. On Springheart. Force of Vigor is an out to Omniscience being put in play, but a lot of times the thing that goes on the stack immediately afterwards is devastating. I would like to hit another land drop. I think I'm just going to keep, because this has Thoughtseize. Oh, am I just going to get fucking turn 1? Shove on turn 1. Understood. White, I guess. That is an Atraxa. And then there can be a new show and tell for Emrakul the following turn. This is where not having some of the Caracas type stuff is a really, really big deal. I am much, much less afraid of... Yikes. There aren't very many red cards for Fury, right? Like, that's tough to do. Let's take a peek, see if there's anything interesting over there. Not really. I'm going to play this game out just so that my opponent doesn't know that I don't have access to Caracas. But I suspect that I am dead. So, get a Dryad Arbor. Play Talon Gates as a regular old land drop and pass. The Veil of Summer here, kind of annoying. That's going to just naturally stop Grist from doing what I want Grist to do. Is this an Abrade? Got it. So there must be a pile of removal coming in for the post-sideboard games. Got it. So now I could like play Birds of Paradise and Chump Block, but that's not getting me anywhere. You've got this one, GG. Is there anything I change knowing that my opponent has like Abrades and Furies coming in? Probably not. I'm on the fence about that Force of Vigor. I think it's okay. This is gonna be fine. I always start here. Gaia's Cradle seems like a great pickup. Badgermole Cub would be great too. I think since I know that my opponent is playing Veil of Summer, I will just do this immediately. Wow, my opponent did not Force of Will that. They have turn 1 Emrakul if they Force of Will. I'll take the show and tell. Volcanic Island. I've got Ignoble Hierarch, and then I have 1 mana off Cradle, which doesn't do anything, so I'm going to play out this, and then hopefully our next turn is pretty good. I do know that Force of Will is a thing over there. That's fine. That's the sneak attack. I know that my opponent has Force of Will as well. I think I need to bait Force of Will with Natural Order. Okay. Here is Badgermole Cub. Turn Gaia's Cradle into a land. That is a lot of mana. I will sacrifice Dryad Arbor. There's the Force of Will pitching Omniscience. Now I will Thoughtseize away the Emrakul. Get rid of that. And then bestow onto, I guess, Badgermole Cub. Now we are at the mercy of my opponent's top decks. So there is White of the Reliquary in for 4. Opponent to 13. That is a land drop. I doing this now to maybe hit for 1 more damage? That can go into graveyard. Why is that not producing 2 mana? Okay, that was weird. Do this. In with everybody. Attack someone who is not dealing damage. Oh, that was just wrong. I could have held open Talon Gates. That was my bad. Hopefully I don't get punished for that. I'm at 16, so I still beat an Emrakul. Show and Tell goes bye-bye. Alright, did not get punished there for my mistake, which is lucky. GG, what's our record now? We've still got 3 wins here. Kodama had the potential to go infinite one time and was relevant in another game thus far. Alright, final round here. Opening hand is okay. I have lands, I have spells, I have pieces of a combo. Fetch, Bayou, and Bird. And then I'll have some flexibility in what I do depending on what I see. Like this might just be some Tameo pile. Basic Plains, Prismatic Ending. Sure. Another land drop. Maybe looking at something in the Stoneblade ballpark. I don't hate doing this and just getting an ETB tapped land out of the way here. Next land drop hits play, and I have succeeded in not having a good creature just die immediately to spot removal. I think I'm into Grist plus this turn. I think I will get the basic forest in case my opponent is being spicy and has main deck back to basics. Which, like, could be very reasonable given what I am seeing here. That is a Force of Will pitching a Cryptic Coat. I don't remember if I said this out loud, but some sort of Stoneblade style Thalia nonsense, Quantum Riddler stuff was what I was expecting. Opponent fetches. That is a Narset Parter of Veils. You don't see very many of those in current Legacy. Okay, we are Jeskai. So here is a dude, and I'm hoping it resolves so that I can play a second one this turn. Nice. And the hope is just shoving Natural Order next turn. Maybe after killing a Narset. We'll see. Like, I have 2 3/3 Vigilant Bodies. I don't have to do a pre-combat Natural Order. Not dying to Thalia. Alright, Quantum Riddler nonsense confirmed. Which means I have to think about Stifles for Praxa nonsense. Opponent has a lot of looks at something, so let them keep their Riddler. And I can just phase out that Riddler and attack my opponent for a bunch. A Fairy, sure. Alright, looks like the Riddler is going bye-bye though, which means that I can kill a Planeswalker on my turn. Probably Teferi. Probably Teferi. Get out of there. Then I will Badger Mole Cub. Turn Gaia's Cradle into a creature. That's 4 mana all by itself. Yeah. I will sack the Badger Mole Cub. Praxa. It's like a great value play. Wasteland. Springheart is sick here. That can be my enchantment. Green Sun can be my sorcery. Ooh, if I do Kodama as my creature, I have Springheart, Kodama, Guildless commons. Okay. Alright. I will bite on that. I am thinking about whether or not Wastelanding my opponent is better than anything else. I think it is. Not sweating the red here. I'm going to hit them off of extra white, then pick up a Dryad Arbor. And I will pass the turn with the ability to defend something from spot removal, which hopefully means we're effectively done here. Stoneforge is fine. Aldra, Meteor Sword. Meteor Sword. I can just defend against Meteor Sword with Blinky Land. Talon Gates of Madara. Scalding Tarn comes down to shuffle for the Brainstorm. And we've got a Ponder as well. I think I'm good here. So bestow onto Dryad Arbor? Oh no, I don't have Badger Mole Cub in play anymore. Bestow onto Atraxa. Play Guildless Commons. Bounce Guildless Commons to hand. Saying no this time. So then I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I'll say no this time. Then go 5 and 6 for Kodama. Then sack Gaia's Cradle. Oh, shit. Well, that Dryad Arbor is tapped now. So no. I will now put Guildless Commons into play, bounce Guildless Commons, and I now have infinite creatures. I'm going to do this for a while. Alright, that feels like enough. I'm going to Wasteland to play. Could keep going. Not going to. Alright, go to combat. Send in, kill Narset just so Days Undoing nonsense doesn't happen. And go on from there. Very easily have the ability to just turn everything sideways. Alright, yeah, I expected my opponent had no outs to that, realistically speaking, because they can't get the X value high enough for something like a Wrath of the Skies to kill these at the same time. There's probably a cleaner way to do the turn where I potentially just copy Atraxa at some point. But we got it. GG. I could Thoughtseize here, because Wrath of the Skies specifically is a bit of the pain in the butt. I think I am into Snuff Out to kill Riddlers and Felia and whatnot. I think I'm okay with that much. I don't know that I'm going to do any more than that. Snuff Out feels like Grist with haste. Endurance is medium. I think I'm okay with these changes. I need Once Upon a Time to hit another mana source. I think this is fine. I have insurance for if I flood out, which is cool. I'm fine casting this here. I will get the land drop that I can make next turn. I'm just not excited about that particular land. But we can officially say that we won using the combo that the deck was built around. So, scoreboard, we did it. It is a tedious amount of clicking, though, and I think it's pretty easy to misclick during that combo. It is another basic land. An opponent is passing the turn. Bestow? Bestow onto Dryad Arbor? Or just bestow onto Bird and get my immediate value? I don't hate the immediate value. Yeah. Dryad Arbor. Say no to that. I've already made my land drop, right? Yeah. No, obviously it was the Dryad Arbor, duh. Opponent brainstorms. Theoretically, there could now be a Terminus on top of my opponent's deck right now. Never mind. Teferi is slightly annoying, but not the end of the world. I will get to kill Teferi if Teferi minuses. Yep. So insect attacks and kills. There's white. There's a Dryad Arbor, which triggers landfall. Munchies Teferi for 1. Wrath of the Skies is the thing I don't want to see. Okay, I mean, technically, you know, Gaia's Cradle. Sure. Land drop, trigger this. Birds is essentially free at this point. And I will, Once Upon a Time. Badgermole Cub is not doing anything super neat immediately, but can turbo me towards Hoof. I think I will take that. Play a land yet. Did. In for a mighty 1 point of damage. Land drop 5. Second Supreme Verdict. Alright. That's mighty rude. I'll play this as a land drop. Nobody to phase out. Then this doesn't make mana yet. Right. Opponent. This on Cradle. And in for 1. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to do it on the Cradle against exile-based removal decks. May just be that I put it on a different land. Sure. Stoneforge is reasonable. Getting Meteor Sword is like pretty close to castable. Let's attempt to take this out. Then go 1 and 2 for Badgermole Cub. Do this on the Bayou. Tap this for black, which also means it gets a green, and play the white. I don't think I can come back from another sweeper. Like, a 7-mana Meteor Sword blowing up white is already kind of bad. Yep. So I have... How much mana is this? So this is 4. 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's a bird. Send in for 3. Opponent to 11. I can cast a Hoof next turn. Feels like it's lethal, even if I have to tap 2 creatures. Cradle is 5 mana. So Hoof plus these is already at least 15. Is a Quantum Riddler. Sure. Badgermole Cub goes bye-bye. I think think I'm just paying mana for this. Alright. In for 1 point of damage. I have 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. I need 2 more to hoof. 4th Aerlingas is pretty devastating. Quantum Riddler pretty bad as well. Alright, it is another Quantum Riddler. That'll be a draw 2. Dryad Arbor. This is 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm not there. I am next turn when Dryad Arbor can tap for mana. I hate it. Although honestly, it's unclear to me whether blinking Meteor Sword is better than just blinking Quantum Riddler. Alright, Felia becomes a 5/5. Means that my opponent isn't gonna blink out Meteor Sword. I can just like blink out my Bayou to take the counter off of it and make it no longer a creature. Okay, they're going with the bird instead. Sure, I will take this. So if memory serves, I have hoof here, right? So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I cast Crater Hoof. It gets +5. It's theoretical lethal, but it is rather theoretical as anything stops this, and I haven't given my opponent a force of will target in a while. So now this is just 9. I am dead. GG. Multiple Supreme Verdicts will do that. Very happy with the snuff outs. Do I want an Abrupt Decay? I'm going to do an Abrupt Decay over a Fiend Artisan. Okay. Opening hand is a little slow. There's a lot of ETB tapped lands here. And I think I'm still going to play a bird on 1 despite that. This might be a Force of Will check hand. Or I do like Badger Mole Cub on 2. Underground Mortuary tapped to Surveil, and then try to jam Natural Order. So here's the Cub. Opponent forces. Quite aggressive. There is a Surveil land. I'm going to say no to that Natural Order. I think it's pretty likely that I lose my bird and I don't get to just jam Natural Order. I also, like, theoretically need more stuff. So black and green or white. Wow, we're going aggro. I will bog you. This probably just means that they're trying to set up for a Quantum Riddler. Like, you just trade that aggressively, hoping to stick Quantum Riddler and redraw to make up for the Force of Will effects. Alright, so that was an immediate draw 2. Awkward situation. All of my lands are bad. Every single one. Do I have to just return Bayou? Because it is my second untapped green one. Or Natural Order later. Alright. Caracas is really annoying. I was intending on getting an Atraxa. Still might. Oh, deck. Alright. We'll take out that Caracas. I need to do something before my opponent can start hard casting these Quantum Riddlers, or they will eat me alive. This is unfortunate. I am just flooding out very, very badly here. Alright. That's something. So, yeah. Then I'll drop a land, get a token, and pass. And then next turn I can attempt Natural Order, sacrificing an insect token. I would really rather bestow in this matchup, but I just don't get that luxury here. Stoneforge Mystic or Meteor Sword. Seems good. Springheart is interesting. Oh, I have to do math. 1 floating, bestow here, Gaia's Cradle, 1 floating, and this. Make a copy. Have 3 creatures still be able to Natural Order. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah. Oh no, I'll have 4 creatures. So make a copy of that. 4 mana. Natural Order. Sacking 1 of these. Big Force of Will moment. No Force of Will. So if I hoof, I have 4, 8, 12, 17, 18, 19, 20 coming in. Seems fine. Trigger. You have a Stifle effect. You do. Not that one. Send in with these anyway. Swords is good. So now my hope is to just go wide of my opponent by making Springhearts. Like, the land drops are very strong here. You can take out 1 of these. Oh, you're taking out the Cradle. Sure. So, land drop. I'm just going to always yield to these at this point for the sake of time. Yes. Hierarch. I'm just gonna send in if they ambush one with Ophelia, so be it. I have a bunch of them. This is fine. Take some damage. Ophelia Meteor Sword, obviously quite good. But I can just block and kill Ophelia and move on with my life. Bam bam. Like no swords combat trick. And I presumably lose this. No, I lost Guildless Commons. Okay. Deal. Trigger, 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 trigger. Munchies. Send in for 3. Ooh, Cauldra as well. No, Cryptic Code. Are you a 3-2? You are a 3-2. Okay. Got it. I'm worried about a Supreme Verdict at this point, I guess. How much is this to return? 2 or 3? 2. Alright, seems good. So now I'm at the point where Supreme Verdict does take out my entire board now that my bestowed thing is gone. Opponent is going in. Nope. Just getting defensive. Alright. I will do this again and chill. And I'm going to try to go in at once and kill my opponent rather than try to do some chip damage with losses. Like, every land is devastating at this point. There's Riddler. That's an unblockable creature you can send in if you want. Free friend. I will cast that. Not looking at lethal, so I'll pass the turn. New Stoneforge. Batter Skull. That makes some of my math a lot harder. Alright, 7/7 swings in. I more or less don't care what happens there. I think I'm okay with the result. In with this. Wish this had trample. Okay, sure. You can activate your Batter Skull. That's fine. Kill those creatures. I'll do this once now. And then pass the turn with the fetch land available. Okay, yep, that's fine. Wonder if I'm now reaching the point where I can just swing out for lethal even through the Batter Skull Germ. It might be about to gain 7. Okay, that works too. Felia can blink Meteor Sword. I will kill Felia. Overblock with some tokens there. I have math that I could be doing that I just do not have time to do with 3 minutes on the clock. So this can now come back. I've thought that my opponent was going to target this like every single time, and they never did. They've just gone after my lands every time. Hierarch, sure. Fetch. Get a Bayou. Do the thing. Hierarch dies. There is Once Upon a Time. Force of Negation. Alright. My opponent can block 2 of these, taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Not lethal. I will let this ride for another turn. I think I'm just looking to find something to remove Quantum Riddler. Maybe I have to swing out there, lose 2 of these to deal the chip damage, but then my opponent gains 8 more. Alright. I think I am now dead in the air. So if I had attacked last turn, essentially this gets fogged and I lose 2 of these, yeah. Okay, I think my opponent grinds through this. Narrowly, though. GG. I still think we put up a positive record in this one. Yes, we did. 3-2 finish with that last one being very, very close. GG's. This was a fun one. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. Overall thoughts on the deck list. Since the core of this was similar to Cradle Control, the deck itself was always going to at least be reasonable. The Kodama stuff was fine. That's all that it was. It was a low cost to add the combo to the deck, but I don't know that it is actually adding anything that the deck didn't really have access to before. Like, do I actually need infinite creatures to win when Cast Crater Hoof usually kills someone? Do I need infinite creatures to win when Atraxa drawing 5-ish cards is a thing that I can do for 4 mana? I am not sure that this was needed, but to put Kodama into a legacy deck is a big ask. Something like this is definitely the way to do it. You could lean into this more. Like, you can go up more copies of the Guildless Commons type cards. there's a bunch of things that combo with this, and I mean a bunch, but most of them are about 3-card combos, making finding something that is good a little tricky. So just like showing this off, a absolute huge number of these things are going to be 3-card combos. Like you can add some Lotus Cobra type stuff to your deck to try to get absolutely silly. Like there are infinites that involve Tireless Tracker as well. But generally speaking, you would really prefer your combos to be 2-card combos. And a lot of these things that say like the 2-card combos here might actually be things that also involve Kodama. So I did some research here. There are, you know, other things that you can do that are silly with lands, but I think I am overall happy with what I put together. We did the thing a couple of times. This land might not just be crazy to play, more generally speaking. Like being able to reuse a Bojuka Bog or a Talon Gates is real, and like the White of the Reliquary synergies with Badgermole Cub are already very much a thing. I don't know that you need more ability to reuse the lands, but it's definitely a thing. All right, before I start to ramble, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. This was a lot of fun, and I hope you all enjoyed. Have a great rest of the day, folks. See ya!